a trial you are to me, girl, and most probably a bastard born out of holy wedlock, an ugly one at that. Though you are undoubtedly a creature of God's creation, I see no redeeming features in you. So I was ugly and a bastard. I wasn't sure which was the worse of the two to my 12-year-old mind. Was I ugly? Plain, Sister Godard might have said, if there was any charity in her, but ugly was another world. Forbidden as we were the ownership of a looking-glass in the Abbey, such an item was far too venal and precious to be owned by a nun. Which of the sisters had never peered into a bowl of still water to catch an image, or sought a distorted reflection in one of the polished silver ewers used in the Abbey church? I did the same, and saw what Sister Godard saw. That night, I looked into my basin of icy water before my candle was doused. The reflection shimmered, but it was enough. My hair, close cut against my skull, to deter lice as much as vanity, was dark and coarse and straight. My eyes were as dark as sloes, like empty holes eaten in wool by the moth. As for the rest, my cheeks were hollow, my nose prominent, my mouth large. It was one thing to be told that I was ugly, quite another to see it for myself. Even accepting the rippling flaws in the reflection, I had no beauty. I was old enough and female enough to understand and be hurt by it. Horrified by my heavy brows, black as smudges of charcoal, I dropped my candle into the water, obliterating the image. Lonely in the dark, in my cold, narrow cell, the walls pressing in on me in my solitary existence, I wept. The dark, and being alone, frightened me, then, as now. The rest of my young days merged into a grey lumpen pottage of misery and resentment, stirred and salted by Sister Godard's admonitions. "You were late again for matins, Alice. Don't think I didn't see you slinking into the church like the sly child you are." Yes, I was late. "Alice, your veil is a disgrace in the sight of God. Have you dragged it across the floor?" No, I had not. But against every good intention, my veil collected burrs and fingerprints and ash from the hearth. "Why can you not remember the simplest of texts, Alice? Your mind is as empty as a beggar's purse." No, not empty, but engaged with something of more moment. Perhaps the soft fur of the Abbey cat as it curled against my feet in a patch of sunlight. "Alice, why do you persist in this ungodly slouch?" My growing limbs were ignorant of elegance. "A vocation is given to us by God as a blessing." Mother Sybil, our abbess, admonished the sinners in her care from her seat of authority every morning in Chapter House. "A vocation is a blessing that allows us to worship God through prayer, and through good works to the poor in our midst. We must honour our vocation and submit to the rules of St. Benedict, our most revered founder." Mother Abbess was quick with a scourge against those who did not submit. I remember its sting well, and that of her tongue. I felt the lash of both when, determined to be on my knees at Sister Godard's side before the bell for Concubine was silenced, I failed to shut away the Abbey's red chickens against the predations of the fox. The result next morning for the hens was bloody. So was the skin on my back, in righteous punishment, Mother Abbess informed me, as she wielded the strap that hung from her girdle. It did not seem to me to be fair that by observing one rule I had broken another. Having not yet learnt the wisdom of concealing my thoughts, I said so. Mother Sybil's arm rose and fell with even more weight. I was set to collect up the poor ravaged bodies. Not that the flesh went to waste. The nuns ate chicken with their bread at noon the following day, as they listened to the reading of the parable of the Good Samaritan. My plate saw nothing but bread, and that a day old. Why should I benefit from my sins? A vacation? God most assuredly had not blessed me with a vacation, if that meant to accept, obey, and be grateful for my lot in life. And yet I knew no other life, neither would I. When I reached my 15th year,